Hello again, today we're in Carlops in the Scottish borders, about to head out on an 8 kilometre country walk. We've just checked out the ancient Lion's Head fountain, which has provided drinking water since 1860, but we're actually starting our walk from a car park at the south of the village, right beside one of the two giant rocks that supposedly two witches, or Carlin in Scots, jumped between. They were trying to escape capture, but this gave the town the name Carlin's Loop, or Leap of the Old Women. And today, obviously, Carlops. Well, no witches today, but a varied and easy walk with some interesting sights to see. So let's bring up the map and I'll show you the route. So here's Carlops, around 20 kilometres south of Edinburgh, just into the Scottish borders. We'll start at this car park and make our way a short distance along the side of the busy A702 southwards over the Carlops Burn before taking a left along a country road for a while, all the way along to Kitley, where you'll see two impressive stone pillars. Turning right here, we'll head along a farm track before turning left to follow this track across a field to visit an abandoned house at Harbour Craig. We'll then head along the top of the ridge to Pulpit Rock. Then it's around the Blackburns Valley before descending down to get a better view of the rock, and then turn left to head along the side of Harlow Burn to Lonely Beeld. Here our path is diverted due to a grumpy ram. I'll tell you more about that when we get there. So a little detour, and over the fence we're down into the River North Esk Valley, and this part of the valley is called Habbie's Howe. A quick look at Shepherd's Rest before heading through the glen, passing a cave and stopping for lunch at Peggy's Pool and Waterfall. We'll then wind our way along to Mill Bridge before crossing and making our way across open fields to Rogersrigg, where it's an easy path back to Carlops. This map is available for you to download for free from my Facebook page. I'll leave a link in the video description for you. All in, this is 8 kilometres and fairly easy going, although a little overgrown in places. Plus we had our sitting mats with us, which helped to cross a barbed wire fence along the way. I'll show you that when we get there. Today is a bright sunny day, but it was the day before Storm Floris hit Scotland, so there will be some wind noise on the audio, so sorry about that. And as we start to head away from Carlops, now would be a good time to like this video and subscribe for more. Thanks for doing that, and I'll catch up with you just before the abandoned house to give you some tips. We're now going to take a left over this gate and across some fields, and I need to give you some warnings here. On this day there were some cows in the field, and of course you need to be careful around livestock, be that cows, sheep or lowland haggis. We took a wide berth around the cows, being careful not to bother them. If in doubt, don't go this way and take the other path straight on to Lonely Beeld instead. At this point we had intended to turn right down into the glen and travel alongside the burn, but it turned out to be so overgrown that it was not passable, so we headed straight up to the gate and into the field. This field was full of sheep, but we did get the wave from the farmer that it was okay, and if you keep to the edges and don't disturb them, then it'll be okay. There is a track, so stick to it. Here we are now at Lonely Beal, and we were halted here for a moment due to a grumpy ram. So we checked with the landowner at the house, who said we could take a detour through a different field that had much more friendly sheep in it. And then we'll be making a bit of a random route up Turtle Bank and over another barbed wire fence to get back on track. So that's where we're heading now. It's always good to check though, just to be sure. This is Shepherd's Rest, a rock formation with a stone panel engraved with Act 1, Scene 1 of Allan Ramsay's poem, The Gentle Shepherd, and there are more of these dotted through Habbie's Howe. But why? Allan Ramsay is one of Scotland's most loved poets from the 18th century. He helped bridge the gap between the older Scots Makars and later poets like Robert Burns. Here in Habbie's Howe, he is said to have been inspired to write his most famous pastoral play, The Gentle Shepherd, in 1725. By the way, there's a hotel and pub in Carlops named after him, and above the door, the date 1792 shows us when this was built. Sadly though, while it appears the hotel operated for well over 2 centuries, the unspecified virus from unknown origin spelt the end of the business, and it closed in 2020, with no current plans to reopen. A real shame. Anyway, let's continue on our walk as we head deeper into Habbie's Howe, and along the way we'll visit Peggy's pool, Peggy being the love interest of the main character Patty, the shepherd. And this is where I'll leave you to continue on your own to enjoy the rest of the walk in peace.